In this second video here, I'm going to create an array list of Clash of Clans characters, and it's going to be a string list. And from the first video, we learned that we just need to add to the list. Currently, there's nothing in the list. I did not define how long it is. I just said make memory for a list. So the method .add will add things to my list. So I'll add a barbarian to my list, and clash car.add. I will add an archer to my list, and clash car.add. I will add a healer to my list. Now I have 3 characters dumped into my list, and maybe this is my barracks or the thing that's storing my characters for me, and I'm adding them as I'm building them. And now I want to maybe check this list, and it's very important to remember that the index numbers act just like arrays. So this is index 0 in my list. Archers are index 1 in my list. Healers are index 2 in my list, and so on. If my list grows, my index numbers grow. Remember, an array list is fluid. It can be added to, it can be taken away from. The size of the array list is actually ever-changing depending on what I add and subtract. Speaking of which, I could subtract. So let me show that to you now. I can output what is on clash car. Remember, if I want to access something in the array list, an element, I have to go .get. I use the get method, and I have to tell it where to go. So get index 1. Index 1 is this archer right here. And so when I run this, I will have the output of archer. And that's great. But let's just say that now, on the next line of code, I actually want to remove the archer. So when I remove the archer, I can use the remove method. So I'll go clash car.remove, and I need to remove index 1. And I'll remove index 1. And now the archer's gone. So remember what occurs here. This whole line, archer, is gone. So now after I remove the archer, if I output a statement there, the archer has been removed, and now what I do is I will output clash car dot, I will get 1. It's very important to remember that right now the archer's been removed. So if the archer's been removed, clash car 1 is actually the healer. Okay? Very important to remember that it's actually the healer. So I'll run this. And so the first output statement, this output statement, is going to print me the archer. The next output statement will actually print me the healer because the archer's gone. So the healer is now moved into index 1 slot. And so right now, my size of my array list, very important here to see. So in this area of code, if I were to output the size of my array list, remember that's clash car dot size. That's the size method. Okay, that is going to be an array list size of 3 because there are 3 items in this list. But once I remove this, once I remove the archer, then if I were to output this clash car dot size, it's only going to be 2 because I've removed something from the list. So you can see from the output is it's array list size 3. There's the archer index 1. Remove the archer. Oh, now my array list is only size 2, and index 1 is now the healer. So things move in an array list. Things can be changed, adjusted, shifted. A lot of things can change here. So we're talking about different methods in an array list. And so just to add on here, one method is the .add method. Okay, that's important to remember. Another method is right here on this line, the .size method. That's a very important method to remember. And another method is the .get method. Very important in accessing and in modifying a lot of things here in an array list. On this line I have another method. I have a .remove method. So add, size, get, and remove are very important when we talk about array lists. Alright, there are a couple of more. So another array list method is the index of ArrayList method. So maybe you can understand what that's going to do, index of. So if I go clash car dot index of, and let's just say I would like to know where something is. So I want to know, where is the healer? That's what I want to know, because it's going to go get me the index of the word healer. It's going to find out where the healer is. So when I run this, the last line of output is the number 1. Okay, the last line of output is the number 1. It's very important to see that, because remember, I know that healer right here says index 2, but we've removed the archer. So the healer has slid into the index 1 spot, and that's why this is going to output 1 for me. Another method that's important here is the dot index of method, which will go get the index number of any object I'm looking for, any item I'm looking for. Okay, and then the last one that is a method I'll cover in this video is the dot set method. So if I want to set something in the list equal to something, and this is kind of interesting here, I'm going to go clash car dot set. Okay, now I can pick any index number I want. So I'm actually going to pick 0. I'm going to go 0, and I'm going to set index 0 to a new champion or new character, and we'll go with a giant here. I'm going to set index 0 to giant. Now it's very important that you understand what I've just done, and I'm going to show you by doing a for loop output statement, which is a good review. I'm going to output everything in this array list. So I need an int, a counter, int I is 0. As long as I is less than my clash car array list dot size. Remember, that's how I access the size of an array list. And I need to increment. And I want to output every element in that array list. Clash car dot get. I would like to get every element in that list. And now it should output my characters for me. And we need to understand exactly what's happened in all of this code, because this is probably one of the more complex things I've done. Not that it's really hard, but I've really kind of left a lot of code in there for us to figure out what's going on. So I have a giant and a healer, and that's everything that's left in my list. That's all I've left in my list here. So we have to understand what's happened. I start with these 3 items, barbarian, archer, and healer. I have removed the archer. So I'm going to show you what's happening here. I've removed the archer. So this goes away. It's gone. And now I only have 2 items left, so the healer is now item 1. I have a barbarian and a healer. After I've removed, this is where I just removed the archer, I've printed some stuff which doesn't change anything. I've accessed an index number, and here I set 0 to giant. So it goes up to index 0, which is the barbarian, and it sets it to giant, so it actually just overwrites it, replaces it, and then I print the array list. So dot set, be careful, dot set is overwriting, but it is also a very important method of array lists. So I'll add that here on these comments, dot set, very important. So as you can see, these are very important methods that you need to know for array lists. You need to add to an array list, how to get the size of the list, how to get an element in the list, how to remove something from the list, find an index number of something in the list, and how to set or overwrite in the list.